Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Hello, lovely people. Welcome back to this silly little podcast that we call Another Happy Pod. My name is Nathan. As always, I'm joined by my illustrious co-host. His name is Lawrence Thomas Heisey. He's the groom-to-be in just about 2 weeks. Ooh, getting close, getting nervous. Do you have cold feet? No one cares, Lawrence, because we need you to shut up. Well, not shut up, because you need to tell us what this silly little show is all about.
Nathan, this is the show where we get together, we talk about things in pop culture. We talk about movies, TV shows, games, things we like, and we try and keep it positive, we keep it upbeat, and we avoid the toxic nonsense that you so often find, and we try and have a good time while we do it.
Indeed we do. Seriously, though, are you getting cold feet?
No, I'm not getting cold feet. I am starting to regret saying that I would do a speech, because I realise now at some point I will have to write that speech and then also do it while not shaking like a leaf.
I am in the same boat.
Whoa!
I'm the best man. Not Ben. Fuck you, Ben. And, well, we're getting there on the speech, I guess. But
When you say getting there, do you mean you haven't started?
no, I have. I have a paragraph. I have a solid paragraph. How much of that stays in, I don't know. But, you know, it's something. But maybe what I will do is I'll stand up and I'll ask everyone.
Another happy question. Nathan, what we like to do here is I like to ask you a question at the start of every episode. It could be a hypothetical, it could be a would you rather. It's pretty much always a hypothetical, and it pertains to what the topic of the show is. You've seen the title, that is Yesterday. In that movie, something is removed from the public conscious due to a freak world event.
Several things.
Several things, yeah, that's true, actually. And basically, my question to you is, what is something that is popular enough for you to know about it, that could be removed from the public consciousness, that you could probably live your entire life without noticing people just stopped talking about it?
Ooh, okay.
It could be like a show, or it could be like a movie. You know how like everyone's like, oh, Die Hard is the best Christmas movie. Would you notice if one year people stopped saying that or whatever?
You mean like you?
I never said that, and we've done this joke. It's retired. We put it to bed because I haven't even fucking seen the movie.
You love Die Hard, and every year you're like, what's your favourite Christmas movie? Because mine's a little controversial.
And then I froth at the mouth waiting for people to stop talking.
Yeah.
No, mine, unironically, mine would be most cereals.
Okay.
I just realised this morning while I was making my lovely fiancée some cereal, I have never once wanted this. I just looked down it and I was like, could not think of any reason I'd need that.
You don't like a bowl of cereal?
I like a toast. I like a bit of toast in the morning. I'll have a morning bagel.
You're missing. I'll have a bowl of cereal any time of the day. I'll have a nice evening bowl of Cocoa Pops. It's lovely.
I feel like there is that distinction though. There are people that just cannot fathom cereal, and there are the other people that are like, I'll have that any day of the week. Anytime.
Yeah. What's cereal ever done to you?
Look, more power to you, Nathan. I'm not taking it away from you. I guess in this question, I kind of would be, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. What did cereal ever do? Come on.
Yeah, well, I have my ways. What I tend to do is what I always do is I leave Nathan to stew on that for the whole episode, and we'll touch back in on his answer at the end. So stay tuned for that.
It's a sneaky little way to get you to listen to the whole episode.
Does it work? Probably not, because you've probably skipped over this going, when did they start talking about the thing I clicked on for?
Yes.
Can we take a moment to acknowledge that at the time of listening, not recording, we're about 2 days out from that, is my birthday. This is my birthday episode.
The day this is released is your birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I'm going to do the whole thing.
It's going to get real low.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Lawrence.
I know he's had all my helium balloons.
Happy birthday.
Oh no, it's a Dalek.
I'll give you some air horns for your birthday.
Thank you.
And some of these as well.
NANI?
Oh god, as I said earlier, you're just a child with jingly keys, aren't you? Playing with those buttons, you love them. Nathan, I let you choose anything you wanted. I finally strong-armed you into watching Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes,
Ben joined us.
movie.
That was the last episode if you want to check it out. And in return, I said to you, the catch is to get you to do it. You can choose anything you want. And very true to a Nathan choice. You found a way to incorporate the Beatles somehow.
I like the Beatles, man. Call me Jack Malik because I like the Beatles. It's good music. I'm not about this Gen Z pessimism about the Beatles and all this. Like, oh, they're not even good. Like, no, they are. They changed music.
No, they're very good. Yeah,
they're very good. They're very famous for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, there is a reason their music has transcended fucking decades.
Yeah. So there we go. I enjoy the Beatles, and this was a movie that I was in Portugal. I was living in Portugal when this came out, and I went to see it and had a good time. I don't know why that's relevant, but there we are.
Relatable Portugal fucking movie experiences.
Relatable. Does
So you
your
had an
cinema have an
intervallo, did you?
interval? I was just going to say, yeah, I had an intervallo right in the middle. The cinemas in Portugal, there's an interval in the middle of the movies.
No, is that what intervallo means?
It does, but it gets better because it's not timed to a specific place. They don't like figure out, when's the best place to put this so it doesn't ruin the flow of the movie. What they just do is take the runtime of it, find the exact 50% half point, and then go, there, that's where it is. So they can literally be mid-word, as they often are, and it's just
Really?
straight to black interval.
That's awful. I don't like the sound of that.
It is awful, yeah.
Nathan, who follows you on Twitter?
I would say Mr. Sunday Movies is my most famous follower. He's not. It's Yoko Ono is my most famous follower. Why she follows me, could not fucking tell you.
Does she align with you politically? Is that why?
I mean, I guess she seems pretty left-leaning. Let me just have a look and make sure she's...
Oh, Yoko Ono? Nah, like an enormous conservative, mate. Famous for it, in fact.
No, yeah, she does still follow me, so... Why do you bring it up?
I was going to see if you were interested in DMing her now.
Okay, yeah, sure, why not? What should I say?
Say, hello, Yoko.
Hello, Yoko. Hey, baby girl.
No. Let's keep it...
Yeah, let me get...
It's Yoko Ono, Nathan. There's a level of
Yeah.
respect it commands, yeah. Have you seen the movie Yesterday?
Have you seen the movie Yesterday? It's about your dead husband.
No. let's keep it above board, I reckon.
Have you seen the movie Yesterday? If so, what did you think? Have a great day. Imagine there's no heaven. I'm not putting that. Not putting that. Have a great day. And then a little...
Smiley face. You know the really awkward one?
What's the awkward one?
Just the pure smiley face, but it's like not a big ear-to-ear grin. It's just a kind of a light nod. A light
No,
smirk.
I'll do the nice the warm one. You know, the one where he's got like...
The rosy cheeks.
Yeah, the rosy cheeks one.
Anyway, at fear that all of our listeners have left,
Yeah. You can speed that up in the edit, but hey.
what's going on in this movie? Sum it up for the people that haven't seen it.
All right, so what happens is there's a struggling musician, and by struggling, I mean he's shit. He's just bad. He's just straight up bad. No one likes his songs, and no one likes them for a reason, because they're all bad, and he's bad, and everyone hates him. But then there's a global blackout of some description. It's very vague, but the world just has a freak blackout. Everything stops, lights go off. He gets hit by a bus, and then he wakes up in a world where, for some reason, the Beatles suddenly never existed. Well, they did exist, but the people existed, but they never became the Beatles, I guess. And now he has all this knowledge. He's the only one who remembers. And suddenly he decides that I can be a good musician now, thanks to John, Paul, George, and Ringo. So let's make some money.
An interesting plot, to say the least.
An interesting premise. Bit of fun, I think.
Definitely a bit of fun. Odd director choice.
Danny Boyle. Yeah, it's not exactly,
It's not exactly Sunshine.
It's not exactly 28 Days Later, is it?
But Richard Curtis, I think his influence
It makes
is
sense
felt.
for Richard Curtis, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
you when I saw Richard Curtis in the credits, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Fucking of
British
course.
and just music and a silly little time. If only it was set at Christmas, then we got the Richard Curtis trifecta.
I think this is a really, really interesting movie. I think it's...
What do you think of it? Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's... I don't have any kind of like... I'm not as massive of a Beatles fan as you are, but that's mainly because I wouldn't say I don't like it. I just am mostly ignorant to it. I don't think I've listened to every one of their songs. Like,
you're not as cultured as me.
Yeah, clearly, yeah. So I know that you're drinking red wine in the bath, listening to Abbey Road on repeat, on vinyl, of course.
Yeah, I do have a bath.
Well, that's good to know. But no, I think I'm mostly kind of like ignorant to it, but I understand obviously the cultural impact they've had, and I think the biggest thing that this movie could have failed at is not finding a way to make it accessible to people that don't really care that much about the Beatles.
Yeah,
and it works. It's not inaccessible. You understand. This is a guy that loves music. Of course, he loves the Beatles. They're not here. Why wouldn't you try and go for just to achieve your goals with the work of possibly 4 of the greatest musicians to ever walk the earth?
I mean, even if you're not like a huge Beatles fan, you would have heard their music. Like all these songs that play, you'll know them because they're just that popular. Like you know them. Like show me a person who does not know Yellow Submarine or All You Need Is Love or I Want to Hold Your Hand. Like these are the most popular songs of all time, so it's definitely accessible to a lot of people. And it also brings up the question, I think, that like, would the Beatles, like, if this happened, would it actually happen? Like, do people care? Like,
not
if
now.
The Beatles, this is the thing. Like, if someone as unlikable as Jack brought out the Beatles music today, like, would he be this worldwide phenomenon? I don't think so. But, you know.
Yeah, I think worldwide phenomenon is a bit strong. I think, I mean, like, in the age of TikTok as well, like, you'd get Kate McKinnon's character being like, oh, yeah, this is good, but how is anyone going to do the renegade to it or whatever? Again, the only TikTok joke we know.
The only TikTok joke you know. That's the only TikTok. I could do plenty more, but you just stick to the renegade, and I'm happy to let you have that.
Thank you. It's mine. I've claimed the renegade. No, so I think it's global phenomenon. Maybe a bit much. Obviously, the movie had to make it massive. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah.
If I was Jack in this scenario, I'd maybe aim for like successful local artist.
Yeah.
I'd make a living, because then I would be like, at least I'm not fully exploiting the Beatles here.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't think he was ever really aiming for this though. Like he kind of just stumbled on it. He was never setting out to. Well, maybe he was setting out to play Wembley and all this sort of stuff. But hey, there we go. I feel like, and maybe this is complete bullshit, but I feel like if there was a global blackout for 12 seconds, millions of people would die. And like millions. It would be like one of the most devastating and tragic events ever. But here they're like, hey, bit of fun.
No one really knows what went on there.
Planes would fall out the sky. Fucking the internet would be down, which keeps a lot of things running. Like, just systems and security and all kinds of shit, really. And, like, power. So, like, shit would be fucked up.
Imagine the prison riots. It'd be like a scene in The Dark Knight Rises. Everyone goes out to their tanks on the road and, like, we've reclaimed the city or some shit.
Ah, yes. Perhaps he's wondering why you would shoot a man before throwing him out of an airplane.
You said Jack's unlikable. Do you think...
I think he's very unlikable. Yeah.
Just as a dude or as a musician?
Just as a guy. Like, I wouldn't be his friend.
I think he's alright. He's not bad.
I think he's just, like, fair enough. He just had, like, he was hit by a bus. But, like, when he's at that, like, dinner with his mates and he plays Yesterday, he's just, like, the biggest, whiniest prick ever. He's like... I don't know, maybe he's frustrated because they don't know the Beatles or whatever, but he gets like really angry and he's like...
Yeah, but in his point of view, it's not like when a music snob goes, oh, you've never heard this band, and then names like...
He's not
Blue
unlikable.
Watermelons Incorporated or some shit. Like,
he's not unlikable in that respect. That's not the reason he's unlikable, because he's like an elitist music snob or whatever. I just think he's like whiny and he's just...
But he thinks they're having him on. He's like, how the
No, but not
you
just
know
in
who
that-
the Beatles are.
But not just in that specific scene. I feel like for all the way throughout it, he's just a bit whiny and always like, oh, I'm the biggest victim ever. Like, ugh, everything's going wrong for me personally. Like, never mind that I'm suddenly the biggest star on the planet. It's all like, oh no, like this is such a bad thing that's happening to me. But and he's at that marketing meeting. Like a whole lot of people are there for him. Like, to make his career happen. And he's just like, just stop clapping after everything. Like, oh, you're all... Winston, shut up.
I know where you're coming from. And I feel like that's even referenced at one point with Kate McKinnon's character, who's like, yeah, no, it's fine. It comes with the territory of being a superstar. Like, treat everyone that works around you like shit. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that rings as insincere. You told him to his face. I get it was a joke. I get it was a Kate McKinnon joke.
Yeah.
But you told him to his face, I don't give a fuck about you. You make me money. That's it.
It's true, yeah.
Like, maybe calm down on the pity party. Like, oh, she
yeah,
shouted
but
at me
Kate,
once.
but Kate McKinnon, she tells you who she is straight away. She's not pretending to be something else, though. She's not being like, oh, I'm your
Yeah.
best friend or whatever. I'm very nice. She's like, no, you're a product to me. I'm like going to make money off you. And fair play to her, you know? But
I'll do it.
I'd also do it. Jack is just, yeah, to me, he's very unlikable. Lily James, very likable. She's great in everything.
Do you
really.
feel like there's not enough days in the year for Lily James to have successfully filmed the amount of stuff that she's in every year?
Especially in this era, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
right?
in say 2016 to 2020, I feel like Lily James was in like 3 movies every month or something.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, she had a great career and still is having a great career. Hey, she gets cast for a reason. She's good.
She is very good, and she's great in this role.
Yes.
Like, which is and you know, every now and again you start to think maybe she's been put in a box. Not necessarily. I think she just played Pamela Anderson, so like,
Yeah, she's got range.
she's got range, but I think she's cast in these roles for a reason, and it's because she's extremely good at it. She's
British
very
love
good.
interest girl.
Yeah, basically, but also she's not just that. I think that
No,
like she
she's
has
so much
wants
more.
and goals beyond Jack.
Yeah.
and occasionally you sit with her in scenes and you like, you know, that horrible toxic like male perspective where it's like, oh, she's just trying to drag him down and she's mad that
Yeah.
he's successful. No, she's mad because
She's not at all.
No, she's mad because Jack ignored her for 10 years and then went, I'm famous now, do you want a kiss? Anyway, look, so basically, yeah, this happens and Jack does his music. He kind of has this moment where a great moment. I feel like it's very difficult to make a Google search montage visually interesting.
A lot of fun that moment. I like that.
Yeah, and it's just him looking at, and I love the recurring motif of he searches something and it shows you the Google most thing. I hope Google never changed their layout because that film will be left in the dust. Like people will be like, "What's that?"
Yeah,
That looks weird.
I like that. It makes sense that Oasis aren't a thing as well because they're obviously very, very influenced by the Beatles. So it makes sense that they're also not a thing. I don't think it's ever explored what then he sung at that talent show or whatever when he was a kid, because like he did Wonderwall, which is obviously
Yes.
an Oasis song. So like, what did he do after it? If that makes sense, you know what I mean?
I do, yeah. I feel like the movie has a strong concept, and then I think a choice that it makes at the end, which we'll get to,
Okay.
kind of provides more questions than answers. It provides Jack with the answers he needs.
Yeah, I'm interested to know what that is.
Well, it's the John Lennon inclusion. It's the fact that
Okay,
John
yeah.
Lennon is still there.
Robert Cup, but that makes sense though.
Oh, no,
Like,
it makes sense.
If John
but-
Lennon wasn't in the Beatles, he'd absolutely still be alive.
No, and I get that entirely. I just find it like we'll explore it. I maybe have some questions I don't fully get on it.
Okay, all right, we'll get to it. We'll get to it as we've been recording for half an hour already.
Yeah, we'll find some time at some point. Yeah. It's little things like Ellie is like so eager to help, but she's just like a teacher. She's not a fucking music talent manager. Like,
Yeah.
and she's like, there's a great moment where she like designs him some album artwork, and you can see that it's on PowerPoint.
Yes, I did enjoy that. If I remember correctly, your fiance did something very similar for a play that we did.
Yes,
in
yes, she did.
university. I remember her graphic design is my passion work.
It's good. I liked it.
Yeah, it's great.
I love her lots. No, I am. But anyway, so obviously Jack starts getting like a bit of success. I find that I quite liked it because it does draw on. Ed Sheeran is obviously a character in this,
Oh boy, is he a character, that Ed Sheeran.
But he starts like receiving some success when he starts kind of essentially, like for lack of a better term, just ripping off the Beatles.
Yeah.
Even though he's like somewhat not, because they didn't technically do it. They didn't.
But yeah, but he definitely is though.
Yeah. Like, but it's not like he's going to get sued because the songs don't exist before him.
No, that's true. So basically, he gets his big break from Ed Sheeran. He goes to Moscow or what? Ed Sheeran sees him performing on local TV, and then he's like, "Hey, let's come to Moscow." I did like the moment where Ed Sheeran goes to his house, and then there's the reveal of Ed, and he's just standing there looking like weird little Ed Sheeran in just the weirdest shot of him ever. He looks like, I can't explain. You know that meme of the kid from the Polar Express? He looks exactly like that. Just stood there staring.
I never knew what it was, and it clicked for me in watching this with Ed Sheeran. He doesn't so much anymore, but it's when he had he was a little bit bigger, and he had like a rounder face, and he had his haircut that was like what he was known for, the ginger guy with that hair.
Yeah.
There's something about him that gives me the uncanny valley, and I feel like it's because he looks like he is an AI art creation.
Yeah, he kind of does.
Yeah, he looks like if you type in the prompt like ginger jobbing musician.
Yeah.
You're gonna get him, and like down to like the red flannel t-shirts or shirts and stuff.
Ginger musician busking on the streets of Liverpool or whatever. This is what you'll get.
I like his inclusion because it kind of does make a lot of sense, because he was once at some point in his career in Jack's exact position, just an out of work musician in Suffolk that had a strong lyrical talent, but people were like, "You've got no source. You can't do anything for us."
Do you feel like this movie makes fun of Ed Sheeran? Because I do. I feel like it makes fun of him quite a bit. I think my favourite joke in the movie is where Jack and his mate, who's a great character, very funny, are getting on the plane to go to Russia. And then his mate's like, "Oh, Ed Sheeran, big fan, especially the rapping." And Ed's like, "Oh, really?" He's like, "Nah, leave it to the brothers, I reckon." That was very funny. There's the moment as well later on where Ed Sheeran gets a phone call and his ringtone is "Fuck It, The Shape of You" or whatever.
Oh,
his
I didn't pick up on that, really.
Song. Yeah.
That's terrible. I feel like he's keen for it though. Like he strikes me as a guy that doesn't have much of an ego. But the thing that I did find really, really funny, and it just I'm not even sure the movie knows it was like a really stupid fun moment, because it kind of seems to be played sincerely.
I hope this is the same moment I have, because my God, it's probably my favourite moment in the movie.
Is it the moment where Ed Sheeran gets up in the after party and is like, "You go that way for 10 minutes, I'll go this way. We write a song, we come back." And he obviously does it because he knows he's an extremely talented singer-songwriter. And then a scenario where Jack comes back, smashes it with a Beatles song, obviously. And then he's like, "Well, I'm going to go to bed and I don't like this."
This is the exact moment. This is my favourite moment of the movie, because you're right, it's played so sincerely and it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Just the fact that Ed Sheeran is like, "They always told me someone else would come along," as if in his head he's the greatest lyricist of all time. No one could possibly be better than Ed Sheeran. And he's like, "Finally, someone has come along, and there's no room for little old Ed Sheeran anymore."
Yeah. It just makes me laugh, because it's you're supposed to believe that Ed Sheeran, who is possibly known as one of the music industry's most humble people, is he gets up and he's like, I'm going to challenge you to a battle that I'm clearly going to win.
Yeah.
What it feels like is Ed Sheeran. This feels like the you know how Ego in Guardians 2 had loads of children until he found the one that worked.
Yeah.
It feels like that in that he's invited so many like other jobbing musicians backstage, gone, oh yeah, well if you're so good, then you can write a better song than me. And when they don't, he's like, I told you I'm the greatest in the world. Like, until it does, and then he just sulks.
It's such a strange moment. I don't understand it. I love it. And like I said, it's genuinely my favourite moment in the movie.
Yeah.
Just because of how sincere and hilarious it is. But it's so strange. It's so bizarre.
I think it should be a crime punishable by death to insert the Apple alarm clock sound effect into anything.
It gives me PTSD, that sound. Yeah.
My mind is engineered to want to hit something.
Yeah.
It's my Winter Soldier activation, is what it is.
Yeah, it's not great. I often try to set a different sound to that one because it genuinely angers me hearing it.
Do you have the same effect with other things then?
What do you mean?
Like whatever sound effect is your alarm clock, do you have the same feeling with other sounds?
There's no good sound to set as your alarm. Like whatever it is, you will condition yourself to hate it.
Yeah.
Because it's disturbing your sleep. Like, of course you're gonna hate it. You're in your own little world, probably having the time of your life in your dreams, and then all of a sudden here's this just to wake you up.
Well, it's a porg in Nathan's bedroom, apparently.
Oh yeah, that's a porg.
Another crime I think should be punishable by death is to put James Corden in a movie.
Yes. Yeah. Any inclusion of James Corden. He was so close to him as well. I've not seen this silly talk show. I don't know if that's his actual setup, but he was sat practically in his lap. Like, I'd be so uncomfortable with that.
I do like that they make his jokes. Richard Curtis is a funny writer.
Yeah.
But I like that he deliberately was like, what's a James Corden caliber joke for a late night show? And he just wrote James Corden as unfunny, which is 90% of the time what he gives off.
Yeah. I'm always here for James Corden slander. If only that could come in a movie without him, though, that would be better. But really, it was a dream sequence, so it didn't matter.
What are your thoughts on that in general?
Well, I remember the trailer for the movie before I saw it, and they played that as like a this is the moment where it all goes wrong for him kind of moment. And then when I was watching it in the movie, I was like, oh, it's nothing. Okay.
He wakes up and he's like, ah.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'd say one thing I actually do really like about this movie. I mean, I said my favourite thing about it was Ed Sheeran being weird about himself, and that is still probably true. But I think my second favourite thing about the movie is that there's not really a villain. There's no one trying to ruin Jack's career or, get one over on someone else. You could argue that Kate McKinnon is kind of a villain, but not really. She's just doing a job.
I don't think she's a villain. I think if anything, I think she's more the comedic relief.
Yeah, she's just someone who's doing her job. And there's the moment where there's the other two people who also remember the Beatles, and they confront Jack about it, and you're like, oh, this is it, this is the moment. But it turns out no, they're just happy to have the music out in the world, and I'm like, that's really sweet. That's really nice. It's refreshing to have a movie where there's not someone trying to destroy everything or ruin the day. It's just a nice tale, I guess.
I do like that because it also breeds like we spoke about earlier, it just breeds the positivity that the Beatles were keen to put out in the world.
Yes.
And it doesn't, I would find it very, very weird if like the two surviving Beatles were in that talk show and they came down and they were like, you've nicked our songs or whatever. Like, they don't seem like the type of people that care about that shit.
That no one remembers for some reason.
But no, I do like that. I also think it, in a way, there's kind of like a kill 'em with kindness situation in this, because Jack is feeling the guilt pile on, and then when those people come and say to him, "Oh no, we're just happy that the song's there because we're not singers."
Sing. Yeah, we can't sing, so we're happy for you to do it. Yeah, that's nice.
And you've had that, like, when if you're not a singer, I'm not a singer, like when we sing songs we'll butcher them, so if suddenly our favourite discography just left the world consciousness, you'd want someone to reproduce it and make it good. But I find when they come to him and they say, oh no, we're not going to, we're not going to catch you out or anything, you kind of see Jack as more slimy, because he's like, he kind of has this reaction where he's like, oh thank God, I've been worried sick that someone was going to pull the rug out from under me, and you're like, that's what you were concerned about? It's kind of gross.
So he knows he's doing something wrong.
Exactly.
But hey, then he makes the right choice. He's like, and it's good. I do like the fact that he decides to just put it out there. Like this art should be, it shouldn't be behind a paywall. It shouldn't be forgotten or whatever. Just give it away. Just put it out to everyone. Let them access it.
The happy ending montage does breeze over the fucking multi-million-dollar lawsuit he's facing.
He would also have Kate McKinnon would have a team of lawyers just ready to just eviscerate that man for what he did. But it just breezes over that. So that's fine. That's fine. If you're gonna breeze over a global blackout, which would kill half the population of the Earth, then sure, breeze over the lawsuit too, I guess.
It was supposed to be darker. So the original writer for this, I can't remember his name. I read it earlier, but
Russell T Davies.
Yeah, Russell T Davies. Yeah. No, the original writer for this focused more in on the multiversal aspect of it, and the alternate reality that Jack would live in, and was a way more woe is me character.
Oh god, I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm having such a hard time making millions off this music I didn't lift a finger to get. It was a bit more like that, and the romance was practically non-existent. And basically it tested, and they went, like, they didn't film it, they kind of shot the script around, and most focus groups were like, this is about the Beatles? Yeah. This is miserable as fuck. So Richard Curtis was brought in to spice it up, and I think making this ultimately I think a story about it's not subtle in what it's doing. It's telling you to choose love and internal happiness over corporate greed and materialism and all of this. And I think it does that really, really well. I ultimately I think this is just a good movie. It's a fun time.
It is a fun time. Both his parents have been in Doctor Who, so that's fun. I like that. I like his silly little parents. They're fun. I did really like the scene as well where he's playing or trying to play Let It Be and just keeps getting interrupted. That's a very funny scene. Very British in a way as well, which I just really enjoy that specific British humour.
If you're not from Britain and you think that was hammed up for comedic effect, it's exactly what it's like trying to do anything in your family.
That is so realistic. It's so accurate. That was very good. It also reminded me of a moment in, I don't know, you probably haven't watched the Beatles documentary on Disney Plus.
Get Back, I think it is.
Yeah, Get Back, which Peter Jackson directed. It's really good. It's like 8 hours long, but it's really good. And you can understand the frustration that Jack has at that moment, because he's right. It is genuinely probably the greatest song of all time, one of the masterpiece of masterpieces that has ever been created, and he just keeps getting interrupted. And in the documentary, for the Get Back documentary, for a song which is as good as Let It Be, it's so amazing to watch Paul McCartney just kind of come up with it off the top of his head while he's just sat at a piano just riffing about. And it's like, this is one of the greatest songs of all time, and you just did that? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you're not normal, man. It's insane.
I feel like there's a few moments in this movie as well where Jack is asked to just wing something, and is able to kind of just pull out these fucking classics. And the idea that he would be able to write that is laughable, in the sense that how could someone just come up with something so beautifully cohesive and beautifully melodic and everything like that. And it is sometimes you forget the impact that has been had, because people did do that. It wasn't Himish Patel playing a character. It was real people did that, which is pretty crazy. What do you?
I wrote a silly little song about an octopus. Okay, Ringo. Well done, Ringo. Oi, lads, want to hear my song about the octopus?
What do you think is like what are the bangers? Are there any songs that you think like didn't translate well into like a kind of a modern thing? There's a joke about modernizing the music and
there's I can't remember which one it is. I think it might be Saw Her Standing There, I think. Whatever the first song is that he plays at like the album launch at the hotel. Yeah. I think it's Saw Her Standing There, but it is. I think it's just too modern and rocky, really, in as in like rock music in a way that the Beatles never really were. They were a lot more like, I don't really know how to explain this other than the word nice. But yeah, it was never like it's the Beatles on like fucking rock and roll, fuck yeah. That's not the Beatles. Like, and I feel like that version of it was just a bit too yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I do. I quite like that cover I quite like most of the covers of these songs, to be fair. And I also respect the fact that in all sequences, no matter the scenario that they were being played in, Himesh Patel is playing and singing in real time whilst the cameras are rolling. Yeah, which I think is just great. Like, that takes a talent.
It does.
And I feel like I respect the balls to be like, I'm going to choose my breakout movie star role. I'm going to cover the entirety of the discography of the Beatles. It's ballsy. I do like that cover. I think it does get a bit too rocky towards the end, but I like the fact that it's like he starts off the show with a bang, and it is this kind of reinvention of maybe I quite like the fact that towards the end of the movie he's feeling less concerned with like making money off of it and more I just want to live this dream for a bit. And maybe he's blending his style with the Beatles style because it's like probably the only other time he's ever going to get to do this in his life.
Yeah. I mean, why not? That does make sense. Earlier, you alluded to a question you have about the whole John Lennon thing. Mm-hmm. What's that? Because I'm interested to know.
Okay, so
because I like the John Lennon inclusion. I like the fact that he gets to spend like an afternoon with John Lennon, and he's just this nice old. He's played by Robert Carlyle, which makes sense because it's Danny Boyle. And he's just some guy who lives by the sea. He's a painter. John Lennon was an artist. He studied art at school, so it kind of makes sense that he's doing that sort of stuff. And he's had a nice life, and I like that.
I think it's more, how does the parallel world thing work? Has Jack been moved, or
from one universe to another?
Yeah, because it's not just like, it's clearly not the Beatles. Just weren't a success. It's more they never happened.
They never existed. Yeah.
So I guess I took that for the whole movie as they're not there. Like the four Beatles members.
John Paul, George, Ringo just did not exist.
Yeah, and then when the movie goes, here's John Lennon, I went, huh? And I understand. I think less of a question, more speaking about it now, I'm realizing that I think I just interpreted it in a wrong way.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I just saw it as they just never. I don't know. Something happened. They just never became the Beatles. Really, I don't think what happened is necessarily important. I don't think it necessarily matters. It's just
it's hand wave the plot away stuff.
Yeah. Also, no Coca-Cola, no cigarettes, and no Harry Potter. If only.
Yeah, I said one of my notes is a world where Harry Potter shouldn't exist or be successful. The movie is way ahead of its time on that one. Just Saturday Night Live is Thursday Night Live.
Thursday night. I thought that was very funny. Play a good line by Winnie the Bish. I'll always love seeing Winston pop up anywhere.
Lamorne Morris as well. Like he's so good.
Yeah.
Like physically. What a comedic physical performer he is.
This isn't this, but there's a line in New Girl where like I think it's Nick's mum. She's like, I think like it might be after her partner died, Nick's dad died or whatever, and she's just having a hard time, but she makes everyone breakfast, and there's just a line from Winston like, I ain't gonna lie to you, the shells all in these eggs, and just the delivery of it, it's so funny.
His New Girl work gets overlooked so often because
my God, he's so good at New Girl.
It's unfair to put anyone against Max Greenfield and Jake Johnson, because they're good. They're very good.
All three of them are very good, though. Yeah. Schmidt is fucking hilarious, but on Winston,
a white man? No!
Chutney. Winston, though, Winston has some great stuff. I recently rewatched All the New Girl, and it's
you already through that?
I've done it, man. I'm done. I've moved on. Yeah.
You waste no fucking time. Nathan will be like, I'm just going to catch up on the last, 4 million seasons of The Simpsons, and then I'll check in the afternoon. He's like, I finished that a couple of hours ago. Yeah, easy. Very weird cuck goodbye for Gavin.
Yeah, what was going on there? Like, Gavin, well, he recognised that, like, she was always in love with him, which I guess it's true. It's true that you can recognise that, so good for you, Gavin. But they also, like, during that scene, they also just like, oh, here's another girl that he loves.
Yeah, here's Gavin's replacement he had on in the wings. Where...
And she was just like there, like, yeah, no, we love each other, so I guess it's okay. Okay.
I think it was meant to like make you be like, they didn't do anything wrong. Gavin's happier with this woman, but I'm like,
yeah.
Why was Gavin ever there then? If you had to write around it,
and why have we not seen this woman until now? This is the first time she's in the. I don't know. Yeah, she doesn't have a single line in the movie, but she's just there to be like, no, we're in love. Like, all right.
She's literally the only way I can describe her is literally the
understudy.
Yeah, she is the Lily James understudy love interest for him.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I do quite like just kind of random bits at this point. I really enjoy the railway station. I feel like that venue has equally iconic potential as like Abbey Road. Like
the recording studio.
Yeah, with the train station. Just makes sense because Gavin seems young, and it's the only way he's going to afford a recording studio is the most inefficient recording studio in the country.
Yeah, and jumping off that point, obviously it's directed by Danny Boyle, so it's shot well. But there's some great moments, especially in that recording studio scene where they do this great stuff with the camera, framing the actors in the windows, and having them dance about is some really good shots. There's one shot which I absolutely love, and it's where Lily James and Hamish Patel are in the hotel in Liverpool, like, and they have their first kiss. And they're illuminated by the TV. The TV is on, and that's like the only light source in the room, and it like creates a silhouette of them. And there's just something about that shot which was just really beautiful. It's really simple, but really well done.
Do you think it changes this movie in any way that the character of Ed Sheeran was actually originally supposed to be Chris Martin?
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like that would make they always said someone else would come along moment make more sense. That would be fun. That would be... Well, it wouldn't be funny yet, but it would be more believable, I guess.
I think it's 100% funnier that it is Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, it's so much funnier that it was Ed Sheeran. And I feel like this has been very harsh on Ed Sheeran. He makes good music, but like, it's... I don't know, it's just funny that it's Ed Sheeran.
I think it just makes him seem like more of an adult man baby, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Which is very much not in real life. Now, right, if you perform that scene, you know he's up for a bit of muggins on himself. He knows what he's getting into.
Did Chris Martin say no then?
No, it's scheduling conflicts. It went ahead. Chris Martin was down, which is why the joke early on going, well, it's not Coldplay, it's not Fix You.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they didn't reshoot that, so that every actor in that scene was under the impression that Chris Martin was the code dude in the movie.
It does kind of make more sense that it is Ed Sheeran because he is actually from that area, though, isn't he? He is like a Devon, Cornwall boy or whatever.
Yeah, basically. I think it lines up better.
Yeah.
I also think it greatly helped them out because production-wise, I don't think there was much of a backing for this movie. I think it was mainly just like Richard Curtis and Danny Boyle went, should we do this? And the studio was like, we'll give you a little bit.
Yeah. Like,
go wild. So they, the Wembley stuff, I
imagine that was just shot during an Ed Sheeran gig. Probably.
Yep. So it's one of my favourite little behind the scenes facts about this. Ed Sheeran in front of his real life Wembley crowds introduced Jack Malik. No one came on stage, and then he went, sorry guys, that was for a movie. And there's like reports of like people in that crowd being like when the movie came out being like, it all makes so much more fucking sense now. That was the weirdest thing. Like people thought he just like made a crucial fuck up and then went, it's for a movie. But all of the stuff with Himesh Patel playing Jack was just shot during like sound tests for Ed Sheeran's Wembley concerts. Like he just came out, they shot those scenes and then edited in the sounds and everything.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's good. Yeah. I like that. Last thing I'll say is I really like the character of Rocky. It was kind of like the comic relief of the movie. I think he's very funny.
Yeah.
I just love the moment where he just steals Lily James's crisps. She's like, no, not my crisps.
He's in that scene. What I love is that they don't stop the emotional conversation.
No,
but there is a point where he's fully blocking Jack off by just leaning over and taking crisps. Yeah, it's great. And there's a good 5 seconds where she's still talking and it's not mentioned, and I'm like, this is strange.
Yeah, it's good though. I really like it.
No,
and also that moment where he's like, where they're at the hotel and he's about to do the album launch and he's like, oh, it's my honour to open this door to your dreams and success and to see you on your way to stardom, and it's the wrong door. Just like, oh fuck.
Just takes him out to like the great fucking staircase outside.
Yeah, that's very funny. That's a very good joke.
Nathan, I believe you have a theme song to play for me. Another happy question.
Yes.
So we are at the end of the episode. What I do at the start of every episode, if you missed it, is ask Nathan a question, and then we get to this point in the episode and Nathan answers that question. Today I asked him, what is something that is notable in the public perception that could be removed from the public consciousness, and Nathan could possibly live his entire life without ever noticing it was gone or never there. What are you thinking?
I feel like the obvious choice is like some shit like Love Island, because
you think you'd never know if Love Island was on again.
No, like I feel like the only thing I would notice is people not talking about it. But would I notice that if people are not talking about Love Island? Am I going to be like, no one's talking about Love Island, or would I just carry on?
I feel like you make fun of me enough for watching it that you'd be like, that never happened again.
But that's only because it's on. And I'm aware that it's on. But if it wasn't on, I don't think I'd be like, Love Island isn't on.
Sometimes they've skipped a year or something, and
couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll take that. It's enough that you didn't know that it wasn't on for a year. I believe that. Because I feel like I also feel like all you've really got to do is get past the 5-year threshold. I know I said the rest of your life, but if you haven't thought about it in 5 years, you're never gonna fucking think about it again.
What have I not thought about in 5 years? Well, I don't know. I've not thought about it.
It's not gonna spring to your mind, is it? Thank you very much for listening, everyone. If you have listened to this, you can give us a little follow. We are at Another Happy Pod on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. You can give us a little follow there. You will get notified when new episodes go up. They go up Fridays at 10 a.m. Every Friday at 10 a.m. You'll get a little post to let you know that it's up and that you can listen at your earliest convenience. Give us a little review as well. We like a little review.
We do. We like a review.
Please.
5 stars or more.
Or more. That's not feasible.
No. Find a way.
Find a way. Break the system and give it 6 stars or 7.
Yes.
Or I'm sure there's some like out there that still operate with like a out of 10 system. Scoring out of 10.
Let me be clear. The top score, whatever it is. If it's 10, then you got to give us 10.
Oh yeah, if it's 10 and we asked for 5, but assume we meant the highest.
Yeah. Whatever the top one is, just give us that. That's what we want.
And then break it and do one more as we've already requested. Next week we are going to be doing this. Wowee, a good time, a sad time, who knows? We don't, that's for sure. Otherwise I would have spoiled it and Nathan would have got cross.
Because that's what I do. Oh, let me check back in with Yoko.
Psst, Nathan, remember we said we'd lie to them.
Oh, shit. Oh, a message from Yoko.
Wait, no, what?
It says, hello, handsome.
Well, yes, very, very full on from her.
It says, yes. Thank you for asking. I have seen the movie yesterday, and I enjoyed it very much. It was very nice to hear my dead husband's music again. Thank you for writing. I'll see you next week, big boy. Love you.
No, okay, none of that. None of that. This is highly inappropriate. But you seen that you seen that meme where she's got like a really small bum crack and John Lennon's got a really big bum crack. And it was like when you're going for butt crack surgery, and it's like, who gave you the butt crack?
The one I saw was like John Lennon waking up from surgery. It's like, wait, where's Yoko? And the doctor then says, who do you think donated all this butt crack?
It's very good, isn't it?
It is very good.
Just a good meme. Anyway,
have fun with that.
Yeah, thanks for listening. We will we'll see you next week. Who do you think gave you all this butt?